Hello and welcome to another video of mine. Today I want to talk about something that happened in the United States, and this happened last year, if I remember right. It was the shooting of Philando Castile, a black guy who was shot and by cops, and this incident was immediately streamed live on Facebook by his girlfriend on the seat beside him, and his little girl was in the back of the car. And this is one of the many cases used by Black Lives Matter to accuse cops of shooting innocent black men for no reason. Now the officer is cleared of wrongdoing, so the shooting is now declared justified, and there's an outrage because of it. And new material also came up, and this is the dashcam footage of the shooting. I want to have a short and brief look to what it's like. So in the very first seconds of the shooting itself, we see the cops coming up to the car, and at first it seems quite a good case, because the officer approaching the car, they have a short interaction with the license for the car, or the insurance of the car handed over, and the cop explaining why he stopped them because of one of the braking lights is down.
Well, sir. Good. How are you? Good. Reason I pulled you over, your brake lights are out. So you only have one active brake light, and that's going to be your passenger side one. Your third brake light, which is up here on top, and then this one back here, is going to be out. You have your license and insurance?
And the most important development in this dialogue, which is by many critics just ignored, is the point when the cop is informed that Castile had a gun on him. You can hear it on the video. He says,
"Sir, I have to tell you, I do have a firearm on me.
Just to inform you, I have a gun on me." He don't say, says, "I have a gun on me, I'm a legal owner, I'm a licensed carrier," anything like that. He just said, "For your information, I have a gun on me." Even if he would have said that he is a legal carrier, the cop would got more adrenaline. And even the critics have to admit, yes, all of us would react more carefully if we are informed we have to handle an armed person. Additional to this, the officer later tells the investigators he smelled marijuana out of the car. Later on, the public is informed that Castile had high rates of THC in drugs in his blood, so he was stoned. He had smoked pot, and it seems they filmed this before, that they have smoked in the car. This maybe for the pot users of you be no argument, because you experience and feel more calmed, more relaxed, more easy, less aggressive. But the cops face a different level of drug using, and they know everyone under influence of any substance: alcohol, marijuana, heroin, cocaine, meth, amphetamine, of any sort, starts to react unpredictable. You can't say what is coming now, and this is why they get on alert when they handle people under influence already. and they even get more alerted if they face someone with a gun. And there's no reason to believe that a law-abiding citizen who has a license to carry legally a legal-owned gun is doing so under influence of drugs, because this is illegal. So every single circumstance from now on, tell the officer here is something not right, and this guy could be a danger for me, for himself, for my partner, and for the other civilians around and inside the car. This is why he got pushed up to a more aggressive level, and immediately after he is informed, you see his hand tighten on his own gun, and his reaction to the information is, so don't reach for it, don't do it, don't pull it out, don't pull it out.
Don't reach for it then. Don't pull it out. Don't pull it out.
I play it again.
Don't reach for it then. Don't pull it out. Don't pull it out.
There you can hear clearly that he gives these commands, that he have his hand on his gun, and he's starting to get louder. He screams the commands. He is escalating the vocal interaction. And this is what most critics keep ignoring. Because just imagine you sit there and you are not under influence, you are not carrying a gun, and you have a cop beside you on the window. You sit relaxed. He has to bend over, stick his head to your window to speak with you directly. And in this situation, you start to reach for something on your waist or behind your back. He can't see what you're doing. You really want to say this is not a situation the cop feels threatened without all these circumstances called out in this incident? I don't think so. The next thing you hear and often are told is that he was compliant. Let's be more specific. I have to read often in the comments on YouTube that the officer ordered him to give an ID, and that he reached for the ID, and then came the other command to don't reach, don't pull. And these two commands were conflicting with each other, and by that Castillo wouldn't been able to know what he had to do. He just kept following the first order. So ask yourself, if you got an order, you give an information after receiving that order that changed the situation, and the guy on the other side gives you new orders, actually opens with, so don't reach for it. So he give this order in regarding what you just told him, and then he starts screaming and grabbing his gun. Would you really keep going doing what you did? Just for the sake of fear, I would freeze. I would not move at all. Castillo did not. Castillo obviously kept pulling out his wallet, and we know he was grabbing for his wallet to get the idea, because we are in the aftermath of what happened. The cop wasn't. The cop was with his head and chest right in the bad place. If Castillo pulled out the gun he was talking about, he wasn't able to see what Castillo had in his hand when he started to pull. If Black Lives Matter is for anything good, then for public awareness of incidents. And I'm really sure, beside the fact that Castillo was informed how to act and react in such incidents when he got his license, because you have to go through a training. Usually most people go for the NRA for it, and they inform you how to act and react. But beside that, that black man was for sure aware what happened in other cases when people pulled something on the cops. He was for sure aware of people who committed suicide by cop by having their hands in their pockets. There are dozens of videos. People reach in their pockets, seemingly compliant, gentle, talking with the cops, like nothing bad is in progress, and then try to pull a gun on the cops. I don't say Castillo deserved to die. I don't say he is an idiot or something like that. Also, I think he's an idiot because he was an idiot. I'm sorry. Because he used drugs and carried a gun and drove a car with his little girl and his girlfriend inside. So many things would not be forgiven in other circumstances, but are now played down just to say, here, look, the cop just overreacted. He should have handled this more patiently, and he was compliant, and he informed him he had a gun, and he was just reaching for a gun. Compliance, while reaching for something, is no sign that you are a peaceful person at all. Ted Bundy, for an example, is pictured as a very compliant, very nice and gentle person when he faced police, but he's one of the most famous serial killers in the United States. For the end of this video, I want to go over it one final time. First argument, he was compliant. Yes, he was, but that did not prove for the cops that he had no bad intents. It just made the startup easier. Second, he informed the cop that he was armed. Yes, but he did not inform them that he was legally armed, and he did not listen to what followed for after he informed the cop. He did not just listen. You inform them, and then you have your hands inside and just do what the cop says, and nothing bad will happen. 3, he was a completely innocent and peaceful person, one of the most loveliest people in the world, and so on. I have no idea what kind of character he was, and I don't want to talk about that. I respect that he left over a traumatized family, but don't paint him as a saint. He was caught for driving under influence, he was caught for drug stuff, and he was carrying a gun, and he was driving in a car with his girl while he was stoned. The last thing, the orders of the officer conflicted with each other. Yes, they did, if you just take the commands out of the whole dialogue and ignore the words surrounding the direct orders. If you listen to what they exchanged in words, you will see the first order was given, a new information was given by Castillo, and the cop answered to this new information, saying, so don't reach for it. A new order just pointing at the new information. So no, if these orders follow, these new orders not to reach, not to pull, followed new information and the continuing of the behavior of before, there's no conflict. And if you're fair for the guy who is not a white officer, by the way, I have to read this over and over again, and I don't know why his skin color, like Castillo's skin color, has to matter in anything in this. Anyway, if you want to be fair to all human beings involved in that, you have to face these facts too.
And of course, I forgot one of the most important points, and this is the Black Lives Matter element in it, because stuff like that happens only to black male, or in the majority to black male. And just to mention one specific example in the timeline fitting together, in March an officer was cleared shooting a white young male in Alabama after he pulled him and a trucker over after they had some sort of accident, if I remember right. I will give the link below. And the young white man, an Air Force veteran, parked his car a little bit sideways of the street, so he had to sort of climb out of his car. And while he was doing this, he grabbed for his wallet. He tried to get his wallet out of his trousers, and together with his try to get out of his car, it looked to the officer like he's pulling a gun to him. And this officer also screamed 2 times, "Show me your hands, show me your hands," and the shocked driver of the car tried to show him his hands by pushing them forward, which looked quite like he got his gun ready to shoot, because he also squeezed them together with the wallet inside the right hand. And this caused the officer to open fire. Also, the young man made it finally out of the car in that very moment and raised the hand, and he still got shot twice. So this example, I think I have running it right while I'm talking. This example is quite the opposite of the claimed that this only happens to white people. No, it happens to people who are unfortunate in the circumstances, who do not really slow down and just listen to what the cops are saying when they face cops. Or, like I said, unfortunate can also be if they really face a trigger-happy officer, but this is quite really rare. In this specific case out of Alabama, the officer was cleared, as well as in the case of Castile. And yes, I'm aware I usually call him Castillo. That's just because I know several guys with this last name, and so mix it up in my head all the time. I'm sorry for that. I know the guy is pronounced Castile, was pronounced. So, do you agree, do you disagree? I'm watching forward for your comments. Let me know in the comments below. I will try to react to your comments as soon as possible, which is sometimes very late. Please have patience with me. I would be glad if the United States would get over criminals with guns, but I don't see this coming anyway soon. So have a wonderful day, and up to next time. Cheerio.